your habits, it's formed at the ground level. So once you start forming this habit of, managing your money, not saving your money, everyone does it.
Yeah.
Even someone who doesn't have any knowledge about finance does saving his money, right? He puts it into his wardrobe, locks the key.
Hello everyone and welcome to day 6 of Moneyverse. Today we have a very special guest with us today. I'm not going to waste more time. We have been waiting for a long time. This is a live session, so those of you will watch on YouTube, make sure you join the community and all of those things which I always say. So let's just begin by calling on our speaker for today. So our speaker, our guest speaker for today, he has been investing and trading in the stock market since 7 years now, and has mentored over 2,500 and more than that students over the past year about personal finance and investment and finance knowledge. And he received his diploma certification at just the age of 16 in the stock markets, and with constant learning, now he wants to just impart knowledge, financial knowledge, as much as he can. And also he's I just got to know a while ago, I was chatting with him before the event started. He's also a very great UX designer as well. He's into product design and UX design as well. So please call I'd like to call upon Mr. Prajwal Kumar on the stage. So Prajwal, if you can come online. I have given you the permissions now. I think you can. Yes. Okay.
Yep. Happy evening, people. So is the video on spotlight or something?
Yeah, correct. Everything looks fine.
Okay. Hello, people. Hi. Good to see this, man. Good to see you. It's a very nice event. I would love to thank you, first of all, for the opportunity to, get into this platform of DoCoNation and have to play a part in your lovely venture.
Definitely. Even the way I would like to tell everyone, we contacted Prajwal, and within almost an hour, he replied to our messages and he got in touch with us, and we fixed the meeting and everything. So it has just been amazing with you. Thank you so much for agreeing to this event, and we are just glad to have you and looking forward for a great knowledgeable event forward now.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Yes. So
definitely. So I'll just begin with the first question. So again, for everyone, this whole event is going to be in the format of an interview, where I have some certain questions that we got from Instagram, because we put out a story that what questions do you want to ask, and we have just combined everything into a different set of questions, and we'll be asking that, and after that you'll also be having a Q&A round. So I think we can start. So the first question being the first and the most important one, that is, tell us something about your journey with finance, because I just said about you that you got your diploma at the age of 16. So that's just crazy. So tell us something about that.
Yeah, so I'll just take you back to what happened. So my dad works as a financial advisor in IIFL. He used to be a financial advisor at IIFL. So that time IIFL was a very new and very fancy venture. Now it's gotten a little obsolete, but that time it was something very amazing. So I just wake up in the mornings and my dad is in front of the TV, looking at those CNBC channels and people talking, some bell ringing or something like that. So I want to know something about this, man. So I had this very huge curiosity to learn something from there. So that's when I was like, Dad, I want to do this. I want to learn what you're doing. So that's when he got me into touch with Stock Market Institute, where they have this advanced diploma certification for getting into the stock market. So I was 16 that time. So I was like, let's get started. So that's when it all started. That's how it all started for me. And since then, it's been a lovely journey for me. So yeah, now the most important thing that I'm trying to see is, not a lot of people know about finance. I have also studied in college and all of that, but the peers with me, not many of them were. The basics of finance is missing. Somewhere, the thing where you come up with some very, very beautiful things about finance, that's missing in the peers. So I think that's because of not having personal finance at the ground level.
Yeah.
at the school level or something like that. People just think that keeping their money in their wardrobe is what savings is, right? So that's how it's been evolving, and now it's become pretty interesting. Where I've been mentoring over 2,500. No, actually, it's become 3,000 plus because every month I keep mentoring students. So it's been a lovely journey. So yeah, that's how it
That's
works.
amazing. And also, like, I would like to share one more thing. Just like you said, there's no awareness. So there's one reason why we decided to do this event. I would like to share that again. That is, I have a friend. So he's an old friend. Like, we were like bachpan ke chaddi buddies kind of friend. And he took NEET. I took JEE. So he is in some medical college. So we don't have any common ground to talk about. And कितनी बातें कर लेंगे पुराने मतलब उसकी. So
Right.
we met recently. He came to my house and there was nothing to talk about. And I was just looking at my mutual fund portfolio and I was checking ki how they are performing. So he asked me कि मुझे भी बता ये क्या है, ये कैसे है. So I asked him a simple question: how much do you get in a month from your parents? Because obviously you're not earning right now, and I don't know much about the doctor industry कि उसमें internship होती है, क्या होता है, how do you get money? So I asked him like, how do you make in a month and how much do you save? He told me that he gets 25K from his parents every single month and he saves nothing. And that is the sole reason that I said, please, I need to talk about this topic with other students so that they don't make the same mistake. So I can understand when you say that this is out there, like on a ground level, किसी को कोई मतलब नहीं है.
Exactly. Imagine if you would have saved around 50% of it every month.
Correct.
Almost, if it was around 2 years time period, it would have almost, given him around 60-70% returns.
Correct.
That financial stuff, right? So all this is where it's missing in the ground level. That's the problem.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about the ground level only. So the next question is like, what is the exact importance of like personal finance in any general person's life, in a general person's life, or as a student? Like, what significance does it play as a student also?
Exactly. See, the thing is, your habits, it's formed at the ground level. So once you start forming this habit of, managing your money, not saving your money. Saving your money, everyone does it.
Yeah.
Even someone who doesn't have any knowledge about finance does saving his money. Right? He puts it into his wardrobe, locks the key. Right? So that's something that everyone can do. When you understand managing your finances, right? What finances goes where? Like where you're spending, where you're saving, what you're investing. All this plays a huge role. And once you have your habit formed, right? If you have your habit formed, there's very less chances that you spend on things that are not necessary. Right? Spending on unnecessary things again comes into personal finance. Now people don't realize that how their money is going at places.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll tell you one interesting thing. So there is this one person that I know who writes down everything. And hey, I spent this much here, I spent that much here, I got this much. All that he writes down in a book. Now he's gotten a little advanced. He writes down on the notes app. But again, when I look at what he's doing now, the thing is, he thinks that's personal finance management. But what I see is there's nothing. He's just putting down things that he's doing. Right? There's no intention there. He doesn't know that this money needs to go where. Right? There's no concept of investing. There's no concept of saving. Right? Cutting down on expenditure. So all this needs a lot of refinement when you're in your teens. So once you form this habit of managing your finances, just small little knowledge, that helps you a lot. You know where to invest. You explore a little bit of mutual funds. You start an SIP. I'll talk about what these are in a while. But when you're going through these things, like where you need to invest, where to invest. Over a period of time, let's say you've been doing it until you're 25, 26, then you'll realize the value of what you've done.
Correct.
Right? Because when you've started with small amount of money and when you're 25, 26 and you start earning a lot of money, that makes a huge difference. You'll be surprised to see how much your money would have grown only if you know about managing it. Right? So that's something people are missing. Like I started investing when I was 16. Actually, 1 year before I got into the course also. And now when I see that amount, which I saved, I did not have fancy pocket monies. Mm-hmm. I had very low pocket monies. But now that those investments, the value of those investments surprised me a lot. Right? So you need to cultivate that habit of, knowing where your money is going and knowing
Correct.
where your money is invested. Right? So that plays a huge role. Yeah, that's how it is.
Okay. And like this playing a huge role in a student's life, and afterwards that student is going to grow up and become a general person and then start earning or whatever it is. So the ground level problem is at the student life only, right? Okay, so basically what are the difficulties that has led to this fact in India especially, that people are not aware of it?
Right. So I would say one of the main reasons is peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, everything about money is emotional aspects.
Yeah.
That's something that not many people know. Because whatever happens with your money, it's completely emotional aspects. It's all about the psychology of money. You have this peer pressure. One of your friend maybe offers you, when you're in your teens, you're offered things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someone's buying something else. Maybe someone's offering you alcohol. Maybe someone's getting you addicted to something else. Or maybe someone's asking you to buy a new pair of clothes or a new pair of shoes or something like that. Now, here's where peer pressure comes into place. Because your peers will not know about finance.
Mm-hmm.
Not many of them would know. And when they influence you, that's how your life is going to be again. Right? So make sure that when you're in your teens, you're with the right company.
Yeah.
Right? Who help you manage finance, who
Correct.
help you in your savings, who are also into investing, maybe discuss investing. Now it's become so popular that, investing, because of all the social media hype,
Correct.
talk about Bitcoin and stock markets, all these fancy things that they talk about in social media, it's become much more, you can be more vulnerable now because you never know what is happening in reality. Everything's on social media. People say, that's fancy, this is fancy. So one thing I've observed in teens now is, yes, they are trying to get into investing, but they're getting into fancy stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Right? They're getting influenced by people.
Mm-hmm.
Or influenced by many factors actually. And they themselves don't know what they're doing. Right? So I can see a lot of people investing into crypto.
Mm-hmm.
And investing into coins like DoCoin. All of them here are definitely aware of what DoCoin is. The hype about DoCoin. So people started investing into DoCoin and all that. So what's happening is it's all an influence, right? So people are being influenced a lot because of social media here. So try to know what you're doing. Right? When you're in your teens, you get one chance in your teens to learn about all this. When you become 25, 26, you don't have the time to relearn or start learning.
Yeah, correct.
That time you're more vulnerable to be influenced by your peers because you're all grown up and you think your peers are right. But when you're in your teens, you have the chance to start learning about it. And so I'll tell you one interesting thing that happened today. So there's this one student of mine who comes up and tells me that, look, I've gotten so much money for Raksha Bandhan. What do I do with it? Where do I invest it? It's not like she asked me what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, which mutual fund should I invest into?
Okay.
Right? That's the subtle difference, right, in the attitude. So
Correct.
This happened because she learned about personal finance and she understood that personal finance plays a role. Right? So that's when she came up with the question. She's like, I've gotten so much money in Raksha Bandhan. Which mutual fund should I invest in? But most of the peers would have a different question. Right? I've gotten so much money for Raksha Bandhan. What do I do with it?
What do I do with it?
Yeah, so
correct.
that's a subtle difference that you can find out. Right? So it's very important to keep updated with how you can develop your personal finance skills.
So basically, like starting from one point, that is not knowing about it, and then falling into peer pressure of friends, especially buying shoes, clothes and everything. Exactly. We somehow got out of that through social media, but we got into another problem, which is getting influenced by these influencers and not learning about it, but just following blindly whatever jargons they are selling through their accounts.
Yes.
So somehow there is a little bit awareness, but again, it's the same herd mentality that's going on. So we have to break out through that and learn ourselves. That's the main takeaway, right?
Definitely. So I would tell you I would love to emphasize on one thing. When people are in the world of this social media, you have a lot of things coming up. Like people come up with fancy courses where they say, 25 din mein paisa double or something like that. All these are scams that are happening.
Yeah.
You just scroll on Instagram and you find a lot of courses which say, I'll teach you this trading, I'll teach you that method of trading.
Correct.
Consistently make so much amount every day, all that. Now, one basic thought that people need to have is, if it was so easy, right? Why would everybody work in something else?
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Why would even people work for something else? Right? It was so easy. I don't get it that people actually register for these things. I see a lot of registrations, man. Like I've seen one place where they have this very fancy, advertisement which says you are going to earn X amount every day by learning their strategies.
Yeah.
If it was so easy, why would people even work for something else, right? Everybody would start investing, trading, and things like that. So this one advice that I can give to people is, understand that you need to learn about managing your money.
Correct.
Because you're learning things, you're into different fields, right? Someone wants to be a designer, someone wants to be a writer, someone wants to be a poet. You have different ambitions.
Correct.
So do not divert your ambitions away because of these fancy things.
Correct.
Where they tell you that, trading and all.
Exactly.
Work with your passion, man. Work whatever you're doing, do it with your full heart. Right? So when you earn money is when you can invest it. All these scams,
like scams. So, aajkal, on social media, especially with MLM and all of that stuff, they are kind of influencing a lot of students basically because
and they target only students.
Yeah, because they're like very vulnerable kind of species we students are.
Exactly.
Because all of us want to earn something.
Exactly.
And we are kind of in that age where we are kind of deciding what we want to do. Then all of these shiny things, fancy things comes up and everyone is like, I can also do day trading. And without learning, you just jump headfirst into it and then you are at loss and you lose all of that money with you. Maybe you paid for the course or maybe you did something else.
And the courses are not cheap.
They are not. I've seen those ads and all what you're talking about.
So they're pretty exclusive. So people, I don't know why they spend on a lot of things like this. The thing is, when you're in your 20s, around your 20s, in your pre-20s, early 20s, you're very vulnerable because you're still deciding what to do in life.
Correct.
Right? You're like, you don't know what exactly to do in life. So that's when your thoughts are manipulated. They're manipulated with just one ad saying, let's start making money. The first thing pre-20s and early 20 people are looking at is how to make money.
Exactly. Correct.
Right. So that's where they're influenced. So one advice I could definitely give is, those are not something that you need to be focusing on, right? Because there are 1,000 courses like that.
Yeah.
And that's not what making money looks like. So work hard with your passion, do whatever you are doing, make money, invest it, and then that investment should be something that will come back to you. Multiple. And that's how it works.
Correct. Like, so earning money should not be the main aim. The main aim should be to get good at something.
Exactly.
And then making that, like whatever your passion is, whatever you're good at, earning money through that. And the main goal should be not to just earn, but to earn, then invest and grow your wealth over time, because that is what matters later on, not what you're getting right now.
Yes. The thing is, patience matters a lot.
Exactly. Patience. That is the only thing that students don't have. Yes. That's the thing.
Patience, it takes time to develop.
Correct.
What did Warren Buffett do? Only after he was 45 or 50 plus.
Yeah, 50 plus. Yeah.
Money.
Correct.
So it takes a lot of time. He started investing when he was 13. Warren Buffett. No one knew who Warren Buffett was until he was 45 plus.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how people don't have that patience now.
Correct. I think it's because of I think like social media is kind of a boon and a sin in some way, because there are some people still like I found you through Instagram who are trying to actually create awareness, but not, basically I don't like those people who are telling ki invest in this. They are basically spreading awareness and knowledge through their posts, carousels and all of those things. So that is great. I myself get to learn through those things a lot, and then I just don't believe. I also check once whether it is true or not. So that I think everyone should do.
There are some wonderful creators on Instagram who just put out content for free about just personal finance, not trading strategies and all that. Because
Exactly.
something that's not very relevant. But they put out some wonderful content on personal finance basically. So
Correct.
I
Plus,
love.
I think student के लिए तो for students it's enough for personal finance only, because as a student, if you're not a student of finance, I don't think you're gonna day trade like on a daily basis. Exactly, you don't have to. You should focus on personal finance, getting the knowledge, and then investing money for a longer period of time, and then enjoy those returns.
Exactly. And being a day trader is a very risky stuff.
Yes, correct.
You need to be a full-time trader for it.
Exactly.
You can't be like I am a writer also and I'm a day trader also.
Correct. You cannot do anything else.
You cannot do. And that is still risky, where you need to have that financial support. But before all that, you first need to earn.
Yeah. Earn, and before that, you need to learn. The first thing is learning.
Exactly.
Because without learning, if you just enter in the market, then it's just gonna doom.
Yes.
Okay. I think that girl you're talking about is here in the session as well.
I think she's here.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. So the next question is, like, as a student, what should one do? I think we covered half of this. So what should one do to be aware about this whole thing, personal finance, and how exactly can they start their journey? Like, what is the starting point that they should begin at?
Exactly. That's very interesting. Okay, I'll tell you what happens. So when you want to learn these things, how to manage your personal finance, see if you can find content which is just going to introduce you to the core of it.
Yeah.
Fundamental reasons of personal finance. Now, the sessions that I take also for my mentors, it's completely focused on personal finance, where I'm helping them to, with strategies, also with psychology also. Basically, I love teaching them psychology, because that's where money is.
Correct.
So when you just want to get started, see something where you can start investing, right? So suppose if you're a beginner and you have some pocket money, and maybe you're earning, what you have to do is you need to decide. Now suppose, let's say I earn about 10,000 rupees per month. How do I invest this? Where do I invest this for growth? Right. One of the options that everyone chooses is fixed deposits in the bank. Right. Now, our economy has evolved from there.
Yeah,
our generation has evolved from fixed deposits. Right. Banks haven't evolved, but we have evolved. So what we need to do is find alternatives. What are some of the best alternatives? So now let's look at Reliance. What does Reliance want to do? They want to progress their company, right? Any company, any big company, they always want to get better, right? So why not put your money into one of these companies, right? Because when they do better, your money is also doing better.
Correct.
Right? So just start investing into some well-known companies. Investing takes, now it's one click. You have investing ready. You just download an app, fill up your details, and
correct.
Yeah, it takes around 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Now. So quick, right? So just add your money and invest into companies. And one of the best instruments that are for people who are young, like who get pocket monies or salaries, to get very disciplined with savings, there's something called SIP.
Yeah.
There's systematic investment plan, which is, it automatically takes X amount of money from your bank every single month.
Correct.
And it invests into different companies. They'll take care of what to do with the money.
Exactly.
Okay? So they invest it into good companies for you. You don't have to do anything. You just have to set how much money you want to invest regularly. Right? This is one of the most beautiful things that everybody can do, and everybody should be doing actually, because you don't have a reason to save. It's automatically taken out from you.
Correct.
Right? It's like, you don't have a choice. It's like, I've said
so basically saving, it's not like saving, but it ends up becoming key. This is my monthly expense where I am investing. So investing also becomes a kind of expense. So you need to be ready for that.
Exactly.
इतना रुपए तो जाना ही है, तो I need to make sure about I need to cut on my other expenses so that this doesn't stop.
Right. So that gets you into a better habitual zone.
Correct.
So that's how it is, man. I would definitely suggest everyone to get started with an SIP, at least an SIP. One of the best places to get started with an SIP is Paytm Money. And this app has beautiful things for youth. It's mainly for youth. So I've been working in the design part of Paytm Money. I've been involved for the design of Paytm Money. So that's when I realized, they're completely focused on Gen Z. So if you're just starting out, start investing, start somewhere, right? Start with an SIP and then learn about the stock markets, how you can invest individually with your own knowledge, right? So this is very important when you're doing personal finance. You need to be careful about it. You cannot randomly go and invest into cryptocurrency.
Exactly.
Right? So you need to be aware of things. You need to know what you're doing first, right? That's where it is. But SIP gives you an advantage of not knowing what you're doing. Right? It gives you an assurity that there is some weightage for you to invest, right?
Correct.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
And like, if we had to ask you something like, where can someone learn about these things? If they want to learn, are there any resources available for free, or maybe anything that is there out there, like a book that we can read, or some articles that we can read, some websites or apps, whatever it is?
Yeah. So one very popular book that everyone can suggest for personal finance, it's Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay.
It's not something which will tell you what to do. It's a story.
Correct.
And it's such a beautifully written story that you will not want to stop reading it. Right? You will get to see a lot of things in the financial world. But more than that, you'll get to see how a person evolves in terms of financial knowledge.
Correct.
And so it's a very interesting book, and it's like binge reading it. That's what I did.
Okay.
And I started, there was no stop until I finished it. It's such an interesting book. So that should be one of the starting points where we can see what
exactly this can do for you.
Exactly.
Through a story.
You'll be astonished. And then when you want to explore courses, start off with something that is going to introduce you to the basics, right? And then you can make a decision if you really want to go very deep into it or not.
Correct.
You need the basics for sure.
Correct.
Whatever field you are in, you need the basics for sure. And then you can get to decide if you want to get into the finance field or follow your own passion.
Correct.
So that's what we do at My Captain also. So we just introduce them to the basics of the course. Basics where they're introduced to the financial world structured in structural format, and then they make a decision if they want to get into the financial field. So
otherwise they at least have the knowledge for simple SIPs and investments that they can start off.
Yes, and that knowledge is compulsory. You need it at any point of your life. If you're earning, you need that knowledge. So that's missing. So that's where try to explore some basic courses where you're introduced to. If not, I'm not even promoting you to the My Captain course, but again, if you want something very basic, you can have a lot of resources, man. Even YouTube has resources. But make sure you're learning from something which is trusted.
Correct.
Because there are lakhs of people talking about.
Like, what are your thoughts about the store of articles that I think Zerodha has made through Varsity?
Exactly, the Varsity. Now, Zerodha has this Varsity University.
Yeah.
Where they give you financial knowledge. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
You know everything, every single thing. And one of the cons that I see in Zerodha Varsity is a lot of it is text-based.
Yeah, it is text-based. That's the only thing.
That doesn't intrigue a lot of people.
Correct. So if someone is really serious and they are into reading books and all, then only they can stick to it for a longer period of time. Otherwise, if someone is into like live courses or video courses, so they'll get bored after some time.
Yes.
But maybe if they start with the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, they'll get inspired and they start reading more and more.
That can happen. A lot of people don't prefer reading from courses now, but like someone said, they started
but left it midway. Correct.
So that happens because now we are all introduced to the video-based learning where
exactly
and all that. So that's what it is, man.
Plus the information has moved. So like earlier, to access information, you had to go to libraries. And even when the internet was there, it took a lot of time to actually get information. Nowadays, if you need some information, you first of all, even I look for a video, and then in that video I look for that specific part of what information I want. So that patience thing is just over for us.
Exactly. You need something very interactive.
Yeah, exactly.
To learn. It's again, so that's what, maybe you might have to pay some small fees to learn, but it pays off. It pays off because you get to learn a lot of things, right? So it pays off. So personal finance is something that everybody needs to be introduced to, and I'm not sure why schools are not introducing that.
Yeah, exactly.
People know it. They know that personal finance is important in schools, but not I don't know any school that brings up personal finance. Right?
Even I don't think I have any kind of school that I've seen till now that they talk about personal finance. And also like other topics, taxes and other things that are related to after work basically. So that thing we are just kind of blank on those topics.
Exactly. There are interesting things about taxes that Indians aren't educated about.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll just give you an example that you'll be astonished that people don't know about this, right? So now let's say someone is making a huge amount of money. Mm-hmm. He wants to invest it into real estate. He invests it into buying a property. He buys a property. After a few days, he sells that property at a higher price. And then with that money, he buys a different property. Okay, now what happens here is he doesn't have to pay any tax.
Okay.
Right? So this is something that not many people know. Like everyone knows that if you're working, if you get paid around 50K or any amount, you need to pay 30% tax by the end of the year.
Correct.
But if you're employed, you need to pay around 25 to 30% of tax that goes off into tax. Let's say you're earning about 10 lakhs a year. 3 lakhs is gone to the government.
Exactly, correct.
Right? So, but what if you have this salary and you invest it? You don't have to pay the government anything. Then invest it into something that won't have taxes.
Exactly, yeah.
I'll tell you one interesting thing. What I do, I have my salary. I invest it into stocks for long term, right? I don't have to pay taxes now. I do have to pay taxes on the profits that I make with the stock.
Profits, correct, yeah.
Right? But I don't have to pay the taxes on my salary. Right? This is something that's missing in the financial world. You need to understand taxes. It's a vast world, man.
Exactly.
Vast world. So even if schools just teach a little bit,
exactly,
they'll get interested.
Right? Because this is something like this is as close as it can get to the real world. Because I don't see myself using any kind of thing that I learned in school apart from just the alphabets to making use of anything else right now, because I'm totally into development, design and all. So it's just totally different field that we are here in. So schools have to kind of revise a lot about what they do in while teaching. So let's hope for the best.
Let's see how things unfold.
Yeah. Waiting for the day I use Pythagoras theorem.
Exactly, man. One of the sessions, someone when I was having a conversation, that person was so funny that he was like, "Sir, I don't go to a shop and say, give me change of logarithm 7 or something like that." Right? He doesn't say, "Sir, give me change 3x into 5 by whatever it is."
Exactly.
Right? So he asked directly for the change. It's just addition, subtraction. Why do we need logarithm there? Why does school teach such things, right? Unless you want to become an engineer or something like that. I don't think that's you're taught all that in engineering again.
Exactly, yeah, correct.
So schools need to focus.
That's the thing that I love about I think the US education system, that they bifurcate it like after class 2nd or 3rd itself. Like you can choose your own like basket of courses. And that's the best thing that can happen to a child at that stage in education system, that he can choose himself like what he or she wants to study, and that's the best thing. I think we need to adopt that here as well.
That gives you a reason, that just shows you that most of the Fortune 500 companies are
exactly,
because they have that kind of upbringing where their minds are well developed.
Plus, like I think the kind of general mentality is also a little bit higher than ours, maybe, because they do not kind of consider any kind of job or role lower than the other one. So students at young age, they actually value money. They start working at McDonald's, Pizza Hut, and start working somewhere else. But here in India, I don't think anyone's parents are going to allow the children to work at McDonald's to earn some bucks. They'll be like, we are going to pay you this much every month. You don't go there. That thing is there in India.
No, in India, no. One thing that needs to change is the generation's mindset.
Yeah, correct.
We just talk about my parents. They weren't someone who would let me go work outside. They were like, why do you want to work outside? Come work with me only.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So it's that mindset that needs to change, because they need to let their kids to get out,
explore,
and see what the world is doing.
Exactly.
Right, and one more thing people face is their parents don't let them invest.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one interesting thing why that happens. See, back in those days, finance was nothing. In your parents' generations,
correct,
they knew nothing about finance. All they knew was, I need to buy a house, I need to have our own house, I'm done. I need to marry my kids, I'm done. That's why they used to save. That's 90% of the reason why they used to save. Buying a new house, feeding their family, and getting them married or something like that.
Married or settled or whatever it is.
Exactly. Now I'll tell you why they don't allow their kids to invest into the stock markets or something like that, because they think it's gambling.
Correct. I've heard that a lot.
Big reason is in this Harshad Mehta scam and all happened, no? So they're all into that mindset only. They're like, stock market and all is, gambling, all that, right?
Correct.
They don't allow students to invest. So that's where people, students need to, tell their parents that, look, this is how finance is, this is how finance works, right? Even today, when I tell my dad that, buying your own house is not an asset.
Yeah.
Right? When I tell him that, he's not someone who accepts it, right? A lot of parents don't accept it. You try it out. Go to your parents tonight and just tell them buying a new house is stupid. Like investing into a house is stupid, right? And they'll be like, you are stupid. Right? So that's how it is. So just read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and you will be like, shit, buying a house is actually stupid. Yeah.
Someone is saying time to leave home.
No, like you're losing money there, man, at your house.
Correct.
You're losing money there. Some tap breaks down, you're fixing
maintenance. Yeah, exactly.
You're just losing money there, right? So what if you had just had your apartment or something like that? If you just there, you'll save so much money. You can sell it anywhere, right? So there are a lot of things. There are a lot of reasons for it. But again, you just read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and you'll be astonished.
Exactly.
Like, why didn't my parents think this way? Right? So all that happens.
Yeah, like we're getting dialogues that parents might say, "Beta, abhi tumhe kuch nahi pata hai." And along with that, I think there is that, "Humne tumse zyada duniya dekhi hai." That dialogue is also there.
That's the right statement that comes out.
Yeah.
You don't understand shit. You please sit down.
Exactly. Night raw, live, me versus parents. Nice. No, don't fight, please. But yeah, definitely think about it yourselves and read the book. That is really interesting.
Like don't talk to your parents about this until you read the book. Once you just have a normal conversation with them. Then a slide 5-10 minutes conversation and see what they say. No, you'll understand the difference in mentalities, difference in the generation.
Exactly.
Right? So they're right in their own ways because they've seen the world in a different view.
Exactly.
It's not like they're wrong.
Yeah, like the world has changed in front of our eyes, and in front of their eyes, the world has evolved like too much, and they're just not able to process.
Yes.
Like when we were kids, we were using those keypad phones. Now we are getting at transparent phones, and Elon Musk is launching Tesla bot. Autonomous cars are there, flying drones, delivery. The technology is just evolving at super speed right now, and they're not able to catch up with it. We are able to somehow, but somewhere down the lane, even we won't be able to catch up.
Right. Even after so much, your parents will still be like, you don't know anything, you sit down.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So that's gonna be there. That's something that everyone needs to deal with in India.
That's something that I do with my parents is because earlier again same dialogues were there, but the method which I used was always had proof of work basically.
Okay.
So I showed them my research, I made notes, I showed them highlights from a book or whatever it is. So then they slowly started opening up to me, and then I introduced because again I don't have that much capital with me, so I generally just inform my father about great investment opportunities. Like nowadays, small case are a great
Right.
opportunity to invest in, and they're doing really really well. So I introduced him to the IT tracker and all, which are doing great right now. So now he listens to me, and then based on my advice, so I basically get a cut on that. So I'm happy with that.
That's awesome. People should be taking tips from
Exactly.
you about how to, convince parents.
Exactly. But yeah, you should have that proof of work, because that worked for me. So maybe that might work for some other students as well, if your
Right.
parents are not allowing you,
Right.
because that's just something
interesting.
else.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. People who are watching this, they should be showing their parents small case app.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tell your parents that invest into this, and show them how the app is. Run them through the returns that's been generated.
Exactly.
Beautiful, actually. Small case is very, very nice. Good that you bought this up.
Yeah.
People will be, they'll get to know that there's something called small case also.
Exactly.
Nice.
अभी सारे उसी dad joke वाले पे लगे हुए हैं, but yeah, hopefully your parents also agree, and even if they don't, start learning about it. Read the book. That's the main takeaway. Just read the book. That is kind of gonna change your perception about all of this.
Right. You don't have to get very advanced into finance until
Exactly.
you want to get into, have a career in finance.
Yeah.
So just know some basics that is going to help you with your own journeys.
Investments, correct.
And I would definitely say, when you're in the 20s, explore. Just explore.
Exactly.
Learn from small courses. Learn the basics of a lot of things. And so it doesn't matter. It's not like you have to figure out what you need to do in life right now.
Exactly.
You can take your own time. It's okay. It's completely normal. Everyone has these confusions in life, right? So that's the entire takeaway that I tell even my students towards the end of the month, because they're all confused. Right?
Exactly.
Someone wants to do design, and then another 1 month later he wants to do something else. That's
Correct.
that's actually normal, because everybody goes through that, and very few brains have this capacity to know what they want to do.
Exactly.
Forever, right? So when you don't know, it's okay to just explore things, understand a few things, and then there will be a time where you'll get to know what you really want to do. Right?
Exactly. Like I think because of social media, itself, because even I share what I learn in public, so sometimes that has an adverse effect, because it had on me as well. So I saw people doing a lot of cool shit, and I was just like exploring some things. I was a noob in all of those things. I started learning those really late, maybe, or sometimes really early. So that affects a lot. So I had to basically gain a lot of confidence to come out of that rat race kind of mindset. And then I was just like, you do you. That's it. I'm just going to focus on my own thing and explore and decide myself, and then go at my own pace, and let's see what happens. Because this is my own journey. So I only have to take it. No one else is going to help me, or no one else is going to take this with me.
There's no competition.
Exactly. There's no competition.
Evolving. Right. So, yeah. True. So
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay. So towards the ending, like any advice again at the end, just normally all our students here, anything that you'd like to share with them?
I don't know, man. Like I would love to know what people have in their mind, because addressing them is something I find a lot of end to end. Definitely love to address a lot of people.
Yeah, sure. So if anyone of you have any doubts and all, so you can either put them in the chat box, or you can also unmute yourselves and even turn on your video if you want to ask it directly. So just go ahead. This is like a great chance for you to talk to someone, an expert who can give you all your answers properly. Okay, someone is asking the books, like some books other than like Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you can mention.
So there is one book called The Warren Buffett Way.
Okay.
The Warren Buffett Way, it talks about the life of Warren Buffett and the thoughts that went into his brain. Right? The Warren Buffett Way is, again, extremely beautiful. Then there's one more book, which is the god of financial world, which is called The Intelligent Investor.
Yeah.
This book is the number one book, not because it talks about investing. It talks about psychology. That's what is important when you come up with finance, right?
Correct.
So one of the gods of book. So gods of financial books. Intelligent Investor again works beautiful. But I would love to say, more than reading books, you won't be reading a lot of books. Right? More than reading books, actually start doing it. Right? Start learning from something interactive. Start doing it yourself. Right? Get started somewhere. Invest somewhere. And then you'll automatically try to figure out things.
Exactly.
So just get started.
So Krishna is asking like how to start with research in order to invest.
Right. So there are some beautiful tools for now. Okay, I'll just tell you a couple of tools which are back in those days, Warren Buffett time, they had to read these pages of research.
Yeah.
Read financial statements, cash flows, everything. But now everything is digitized, right? So what you have, there are these beautiful websites called Ticker Tape.
Yeah.
Right? Ticker Tape is it gives you an overview of a company, even for someone who doesn't even know what finance is. Right? It shows you what a company is doing without you having any knowledge about how to analyze these things. Right? Ticker Tape works for even the beginners. Right? Ticker Tape, and there is one more called Screener.
Yeah. Screener.
You can just find out which stocks are doing good, which stocks are not doing good, right? Where you could invest. And one of the places that you need to start, if you don't want to get into research and stuff, small case. Right?
Correct.
Beautiful. You just...
It is a beautiful concept what they have made.
Yeah, exactly. Experts have already analyzed it for you.
Exactly.
You just park your money there. Right? So it will give you returns over time, for sure. And see, anytime the markets, the economical world, the financial world is going to grow. Right? It's not going to decline as such. It's going to keep evolving. So you'll eventually make money when you start investing into the financial markets, well researched, or something like Ticker Tape, right? In research by yourself, or something like Small Case, where someone has already researched for you.
Exactly, and they're continuously changing it. That's the best thing that I find about Small Case. That if you're taking the free plan, then they're rebalancing every quarter. So that's just amazing to see what they're doing there.
Right. Small Case is beautiful. I think everybody needs to try it out.
Yeah.
To get started. Unless you don't want to do it yourself, unless you don't want to learn by yourself.
Yeah.
Get started with Small Case.
Also, one thing that I've noticed is that generally the mindset is we need to get returns as soon as possible. And I think that needs to change. It's all about the long-term game.
Yes, that's a really nice point that you brought up. So one thing that I would suggest people is, focus on long-term wealth creation. Short-term wealth creation just looks fancy from outside.
Yeah, correct.
Right? People show you the pros. People don't show you the cons.
Correct.
Right? So that's why I say social media is completely, an influencer game. They show you the fancy stuff there. So, just focus on long-term wealth creation. It's okay. It's okay to just patiently wait for your wealth to grow, right?
Correct.
Just pursue your passion, be good at whatever you do, and earn money, and then let it grow for a long term.
Exactly.
So that's something people really need to understand, that long-term wealth creation is where what do you say? The jewel is.
Exactly.
Right? The essence is.
Okay, so Venkatesh is asking that does platforms like Zerodha, Upstocks, or maybe basically do platforms play an important role, or they're just a way to invest?
So I'll tell you. See, since I'm a product designer, I work with Paytm Money also. I work with ICICI Bank. So now ICICI Bank is also coming up with something else.
Yeah.
They already have, but they're coming up with an advanced investing platform. But then it's not about the platform that plays a role. Every platform is built for different reasons.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, Zerodha and Upstocks, they came across because they are built for traders.
Exactly.
What I mean by traders is people who are full-time into the stock markets. They're involved every day in the stock markets. buying, selling, buying, selling. All this happens every day in their life. It was purely built for these people, Upstocks and Zerodha. Now they've evolved into becoming a platform for everybody, whoever wants to. Right? One thing I can tell you is, if you want to focus on platforms, Upstocks and Zerodha are one of the best platforms to start. Okay? Quick, easy, neat, clean, wonderful.
Correct.
Zerodha, any of these work. But if you want to invest into, suggest. See, I'll tell you the cons of Zerodha and Upstocks. They don't suggest you where to invest.
Yeah, they don't.
It's all up to you.
Exactly.
Right? Now, when you want some guidance, Paytm Money does a beautiful job. Right? Your banks also, whichever bank, even they have this opportunity where they'll let you invest. Just that they are a little outdated, but they're still doing the job.
Exactly.
So just
and I think there's a platform Grow, which also lets you do that.
Yes, Grow
with
and
suggestions and all.
Yeah, Grow and Paytm Money is for people who need some guidance.
Yeah.
Upstocks and Zerodha is for people who want to do it by themselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's the subtle difference these platforms
play. Okay.
So Venkatesh, you don't have to get very intrigued by the platforms. Just two reasons: you want to do it yourself, get into Upstocks or Zerodha. These are the top players. You want to have some small guidance, little bit guidance, a little personalization. Get into Paytm Money or Grow. And eventually, they are all bringing you to an investment in the same.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, don't worry about the genuinity. They cannot launch until they have the proper structure. So don't worry about genuinity. All these are wonderful apps.
So Krishna is asking, like, for a beginner, where should we start investing? Crypto, stocks, or something else?
Right. So that's very interesting. So let's say you have a pocket money of about 10,000 rupees. If you want to invest, definitely when you're in your 20s, you have the liberty to invest a higher percentage. You don't have as many responsibilities in life, right? You might not have, right? So you can leverage that to invest a lot of your savings. So if I had 10,000 rupees, I would definitely invest 7,000 rupees into investments. Have 3,000 for my expenses.
Yeah.
So no, when I have 7,000 for investments, I would probably say I would invest about 3,000 rupees into mutual funds, which are safe, right? Someone has already researched well. They are doing the job for me.
Exactly.
Right? So definitely invest into mutual fund. Something that I told you about, SIP, SIP. That's what it is. Automatically around 3,000 is going to that. Right? That's it. I would again invest another 3,000 rupees into stocks myself. No, I have understood that Bharti Airtel is a good company. I'll put it to that. I've understood Reliance is a good company. I'll put it to that. So it's like I'm doing my own job for the rest 3,000. This extra 1,000 rupees that I have, I don't want to miss out on something that might come up. So I'm just putting it into crypto, right? Crypto is a very interesting space, okay? Because it might be one of the best things to happen in the future.
Yeah, correct.
It's getting adapted in a lot of places. India, anything new you bring up to India, India is going to take time.
Exactly.
Right? But eventually they are going to be forced to adapt. So crypto is an interesting space. For people who are looking to invest into crypto, I would say don't miss out on investing into crypto, and at the same time don't risk everything into it.
Yeah, something that you are kind of ready to lose.
Exactly. Something that you are ready to lose, put it into crypto. Now, why not? Why just miss out on something that might capitalize later?
Exactly.
That's what even I do. I just put a small amount of something that I can lose into crypto. So even in crypto, there are some 6,000 change coins.
Yeah, correct.
Right? So
they have grown a lot.
Something else, something that you don't know. I'll tell you one basic thing. Investing into Ethereum is a valuable thing.
Exactly.
Ethereum as a coin is something very valuable. It has a product.
Exactly.
So crypto is basically products, nothing else. So you can get started to invest in crypto, but just be careful that you don't put everything in it.
Exactly. And this is something that even I did, like just like you said. So even I was like, when it started off. So right now my crypto portfolio is like 70% in loss because again, with the fall of Bitcoin and almost all the coins that happened, but I am okay with it because I did the same SIP thing by myself only. So every month I decided that I'll just look for a kind of dip where it looks okay, and I'll just invest the same amount, like let's say 1,000 rupees every month, into one or two coins, whatever I choose, maybe Ethereum, maybe Cardano, whatever it is.
Right.
So that is what I kept doing, and I'm still doing it, even though the market is not that great right now. But I'm okay to lose that much amount. So maybe that makes sense.
Right. The most important thing is you need to know what you're investing in.
Yeah.
That's when you can be confident even if you're losing out money.
Correct.
If you know what is Bitcoin, if you know what they're doing, you're ready. You can be confident even if it falls.
It's kind of like stocks only, like Reliance, Ambani.
Exactly.
So in the same way, you need to know Bitcoin also in the same kind of manner. That Bitcoin kya hai, kyun hai.
Yeah, in the most basic sense, Bitcoin is like digital gold.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So you can definitely anytime, you can trust gold. Right. So it's like I'm gonna invest into Ethereum or Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So invest into something that's well studied and
Exactly.
you need to know it. And it's not like the world has studied it well.
You need to know about it.
Right. So yeah. I think that helps Krishna.
Okay, Akash is asking about any story of facing a loss and how to deal with it.
I have a lot of stories, man. So if you see what I do in my classes now, I tell them these stories of mine, these failure stories of mine, because they are very interesting. I have some really good failure stories. I'll just tell you one of them. So 3 years back, there's something called options, investing into options. Okay, so since I'm a little bit experienced in the stock markets, I get into a little advanced things like options, where you have a chance of getting higher returns. In simplest words, I'll tell you, one product was 30 rupees. Okay, I had bought around 6,000 of them. What's the amount now? 6,000 into 30 rupees, that around 1,80,000.
Yeah, 1,80,000.
Okay. Now, overnight, the product which was 30 rupees in the stock market, in the options market, overnight it became 140 rupees, 140, 150 rupees.
Okay.
That's like around 5 times.
5 times the game. Yeah.
Right? So this happened in a span of one day. Right? So this was back in 2018 or 18, I guess. No, 17. Right? So when this happened, it sparked something in me. मैं तो विजय माल्या, मैं तो राकेश झुनझुनवाला बन के रहूंगा. Right? So I got into that mindset of, look, I am Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Right? And in the next month, I did something very similar. I bought a product which was around 60 rupees or something like that. Again, the same amount. I think I bought a more number of quantity, around 8,000 quantity or something. And in a span of 3 days or 4 days, this product which was at 60 rupees, it became around 4 or 5 rupees.
Oh God.
Right? So all these things are a part of learning. And this is just one story, man. There are a lot of failure stories that keep happening. Right? So failure stories are a lot. The thing is how you deal with it, and how you deal with failures, how you deal with your loss of investment. Exactly. One thing is, when you know what you're doing now, you won't have the fear. Back then, when I started this options thing, I was very new to it. I did not know much about it. I was just randomly doing things. Like I said, I was intrigued with the profits I made. There's something beginner's luck.
Exactly.
You make money in the beginning, and that sparks you up, and then you try to do something very stupid again, and you lose all of it. Right? So these things happen. So it's better you know what you're doing. Right? So you're confident enough there.
Correct.
Okay. Question?
Akash. Yeah.
No, I have a lot of interesting stories. Just hit me up whenever you want to know things about my failures and stuff.
Okay, Venkatesh is asking, what's your view on market bubble?
Okay, so see, like I said, economy is going to increase day by day. Right? The Indian economy is going to be increasing day by day. Yes, I understand, because of the pandemic, the outlook doesn't look good. Right? Correct. The economic outlook doesn't look good. But again, a lot of people are speculating that it's a market bubble. Zerodha's founder, Nitin Kamath himself is like, just stay cautious, guys, and all that. But no one knows. He might be the founder of Zerodha, but even he won't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. No one can know that.
No one knows. No one is going to control the markets, because it's the public that's controlling the stock markets. I'll tell you one interesting thing. In the last 1 year, India has added about 1.7% of the population into the stock markets.
Yeah.
It was just 3%. Now it's become 4.7. 4.7% of Indian population are investing in the stock markets. I know that's very less number, but in just 1 year, they added 1.7% more. Right? So a lot of money has come into the stock markets. So that's why you can see the market going up, right? The stock market's going up, right? Yes, there are chances of it being a bubble, but nobody knows. So that's why I say invest into something that you know, invest into something that's quality, focus on the quality of your investment. And not just invest into some unknown company. What people do know, one interesting thing in the stock markets, they invest into these 10 rupees stocks, like Vodafone Idea. They invest into some 20 rupees stocks, some 30 rupees stocks.
Yeah.
The company would not be doing anything. Right? So focus on quality. Invest into some good companies, strong companies, Tata Motors. Look at Reliance. Look at
Bajaj Finserv or something like that.
Some strong. You need to have a reason to invest into it. Right? One of the things I tell people is look at the situation around you. Now, Dussehra Diwali is coming up. People start buying a lot of cars.
Exactly.
Right? What happens when people buy a lot of cars? The automobile industry is going to make profits.
Exactly. Correct.
So invest into the automobile industry. Right? So do something like that. Focus on the quality and know your reasons for it.
Exactly.
Right? So don't focus too much on the market bubble. Just focus on having quality investments for your long term.
Exactly.
It's going to go up anyway.
If you focus on the long term, plus even I feel that with stocks you need a little bit of good amount of capital to actually get into it, because 1000 का 5000 बना भी लिया तो कोई फायदा नहीं है, right? It's not that great. मतलब ठीक है हो गया, but main तो long term वाला ही काम आएगा.
Right. So keep investing into it.
Exactly.
As and when you can, just keep investing into things. And so that's how you grow your wealth also. That's how you get some really good returns, and over a period of time, you will be amused by the returns that you'll be making.
Exactly.
I'm just telling you this from my personal experience. In the last 6-7 years, the amount of gains that I've had now, it's exponential. In just 7 years. And I feel this is too much, but I know that when I wait for another 10 years, 12 years, I know this is going to be much more better.
Exactly.
So keep investing in the stock markets or into mutual fund or something. Just find your reason for it.
Exactly.
What do you want to do with your money? Right? Definitely not putting it into the bank.
Correct.
Right? Definitely not putting it into the bank.
Or in the Godrej Almira.
Right. So they're going to promise you a return.
Yeah.
But look, you invest 1 lakh rupees into the bank, you just get around 5% returns.
Yeah.
So that's nothing. That's nothing. 5% is what, around 5,000 rupees a year.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how. Plan your reasons. Plan your purpose.
Okay, so we have the 2 final questions for today. One is how privatization will affect stock market. Again, this depends, man. This depends. This is a very vast question. This depends on what do you mean by privatization? What do you mean by coming up? Now, let's say the recent buzz was Zomato. Yeah, correct. Right, the recent buzz was Zomato. Now, Zomato, what happened? They were working well. Right? They were working well. Now, since they've gotten into the stock market, since they've raised money from the public, they now have this pressure of becoming a company that generates better returns. Becoming a company that's making profits. Their losses are around 400 crores a year. Yeah. It's a loss-making company. Not just Zomato, even Swiggy, even Amazon, even Flipkart. All of these, correct. Are loss-making companies. What they do is they get into this public markets to raise money from the public. Exactly. Right? So that's where you need to differentiate. You need to. I'm not sure what privatization, what basis you're talking about, right? Privatization could mean getting into the stock markets. Also, private company coming into the stock markets. It can also be something like where CRED is building. Right? What do CRED do? CRED has investors. Exactly. Now it diversifies the investment. People who can invest into the stock market would be investing into these startups. Right? Exactly. And when these startups get into the stock markets,
they're going to be making huge amounts of money by investors.
Exactly.
Right? Wealth is getting a little concentrated there. Right? So that's one of the cons that I see where these companies, these private companies, become a public company. One of the cons that I see, because one group of people are becoming too rich.
Exactly.
Right? It's mainly the capitalism concept, right? So yeah, that's
Okay. So I think the last question for today is your observation about the new generation, and do you think the future is bright?
definitely, man. I definitely think, all of you guys over here, you're trying to learn something about finance. Right? You're trying to get insights about finance. Which generation did this, right?
Exactly.
So it's definitely something that will help. One thing is the ground level needs to improve. If that's improved, India is going to be somewhere else.
Exactly.
With this kind of education, India is here. And with some better education, India is going to be somewhere else.
Exactly.
So that's how it is. You just see Kunal Shah, he dropped out of his MBA. In one of the interviews, he says why he dropped out of MBA was the content did not make any sense to him at all. Right? And that's when he came up with his, he quit his, he dropped out of his
Exactly.
MBA, right? So just a little improvement in the content of our education can take India somewhere. And so,
Like this thing, I also hear from my father that I am currently a third year BTech student. So the the syllabus that we have is exactly the same that my father had while doing his engineering.
Right. So there needs to be some change.
Yeah.
Some change.
Exactly.
Unless you don't do your MBA from a tier 1 college like IIM or something.
Yeah.
There's no value of an MBA. Right? You learn doing business by actually doing business instead of studying an MBA.
Exactly.
Yes, IIM and all, they have, why even IIMs are successful? I don't think it's because of the content. Like, I personally don't think it's because of the content. Because I have a few friends who are from there. What they say is they form this community.
Exactly. The network is really great.
The networking is great. So try to meet as many people as you can. Try to, get insights from people, experience from people, learn from them, discuss from them. That's where IIMs are precious, because they have these very smart brain people there. Right? Cracking CAT takes a lot of IQ. So
exactly.
Smart people there. So just get to get better at the art of building a community. Where you guys are doing great, where you guys are trying to build a community.
Yeah.
So this plays a big role in the youth for a bright future again. Right?
That's the hope that we have. Let's see what we can do.
Yes.
So, okay, unrelated question from Akash. Some design and bodybuilding tips. Sorry.
Okay, so design, see, I have been very passionate about building products. So I have been in the product design team of a lot of financial apps. Okay, like I don't have so I'll tell you, I work for Paytm Money. I work for the building of ICICI Bank's products. I work for building HDFC Bank's products. Okay. I'm the design team of all this. So I love building these fintech products, right? So I've been in the design space in the past 3 years now. And right now I'm working at a company called Inconic, where I'm the product designer. I'm basically into UX research there, where we are mainly focused on building things for fintech.
Okay.
So that's a very interesting space for me. Again, design, when you want to learn design, it's very interesting, man. If you guys want to really learn design, just hit me up on my Instagram or something like that, and I'll guide you guys how to get through with design. It's a very interesting space, because right now everything is design.
Exactly.
Why do people use Zerodha and Upstocks and not a trading app from ICICI?
Correct.
Because ICICI's trading app, I click on something, it clicks on something else.
Exactly.
Design matters. So you guys want to learn anything about design, just hit me up.
Yep. I'm just gonna drop your Instagram handle in the chat box so that everyone can know it. And also, I think that brings us to the end of today's session. And thank you so much, Prajwal, for joining in. And I would love if everyone can, just take a screenshot or a photo and use the Prajwal's tag and DoCoNation's tag and, just put out on your stories and tell how you like the session. That would be just amazing.
And thank you guys. I hope there was some value delivered to you people. I'm not sure if I could deliver any value, but I'm just guessing that there was value, added to you guys with this evening, this conversation, things like that. Yep.
Definitely.
Anything you guys want to know about, anything you want advice on, just hit me up, man, without any hesitation, right? Hit me up and I'm definitely going to get to you guys, right? Any suggestions you want, anything you want to know about, anything you want to learn about, just hit me up. I'll try to help you as much as I can, right? So that's it. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Yep. See you guys. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.